It felt like I was stuck in sinking sand, like sinking into the depths of depression and this deep-rooted insecurity, desperately seeking the validation that I needed from other people.
From childhood, I've had like a really big expectation of myself, and growing up in a Christian family, I often compared myself to people in the faith, and I compared myself to people academically.
When I was in school, I was a quiet and shy girl who didn't like to share anything to anyone at all. So there's nothing bad about it, but I guess that was the reason why I didn't have friends.
So I was brought up in a really religious household. We went along to church every single week. I hated going. I didn't get what they were talking about. I didn't get why there was a priest. I didn't get a need for a God. I didn't understand it. I didn't want anything to do with it.
Back in 2017, my grandfather passed away. Before he passed away, the last few years he was suffering a lot and he was in a lot of pain. The day he passed away will be the day that I would actually remember.
And I just knew that if I didn't get help soon, I would inevitably end up sinking lower and lower and destroying myself. And it wasn't until I went to Story and I heard the gospel for the first time that I realised redemption is possible and I can be saved.
But I guess during my gap year and as I came to uni, I realised that God doesn't call me to be this perfect Christian, because that can never be attained, because it doesn't exist.
I got bullied verbally, and the friends I barely had sort of left me. I was quite in a difficult time, and the one who I can only talk to and hang on to was God.
And then when I was like 15 years old, I was invited along to another church by a friend. I didn't want to go, but they gave me chocolate and fizzy drinks, so I stayed. So I got a super logical brain, so I'm not just going to believe in a God because you tell me to. Like, I want evidence for it. And that is exactly what I found there. And then I came to the conclusion that maybe there is a God.
When he took his last breath, the entire place was at peace, and it was the kind of peace that you will never really experience it in life. When he opened his eyes for the last time, I knew that he saw Jesus.
Knowing that Jesus hung on that cross, bleeding and dying, and he thought of me, and he did it with me in mind. Jesus was persecuted so that I don't have to persecute myself.
And now I have the hope that God will carry me through all the failures that I will experience. And I will experience them because we are human, but I have the hope that I will be transformed.
Until I knew what my problems were, I cheered up and I tried to change again. And this is the me today, who is positive, happy, and always being hopeful.
But not just that he's real, but he gives me a hope. I'm not just on this planet to just sit around and get a job and then retire. But actually I have a hope in Jesus and my life has meaning.
When he took the last breath, it was a sigh of relief, and it gave me hope that he's at peace and he's no longer suffering.
That's why Jesus
gives me hope.
Gives me hope.